In today's video, I'm going to be doing my round 8 SuperCoach team. I rounded up having a boost again. There was just so many plans I wanted to do with my team to upgrade certain positions. And I feel like it was needed. I feel like I was getting a little bit lucky in the certain positions I was weak in. And then I knew eventually that luck was going to run out. And this week it did. I only got 1,034. I dropped down quite a fair bit for my season rank. I dropped down about 2,000 places. So hopefully these trades that are really strengthening my team will help out. So hookers, I brought in Jaden Brayley last week. I decided to get ahead of the crowd. He's a bit more popular this week just because Danny Levi peaked. I mean, his break-even was 54. Brayley's was only 16. So I sold that for like a 60k price profit, which I think is pretty good. One really good thing about Jaden Brayley now is that he's playing 80 minutes. Now, Appy Coruscant, I don't want him in my team, but Harry Grant hasn't been playing good either. And then Reece Robson, his break-even's massive, so there's no point in me getting him in. And then Reed Marnie's on the bye round. So I think I'm just going to have to stick with Coruscant. They play the Broncos this week, which is another pretty tough game, but hopefully you can at least get a bit more points than 36. He missed a fair few tackles. I think he missed about 10 tackles, which lost him 10 points. Front rows, this is one of my big trades I did this week. Sold Terrell May to bring in Adam Fanor-Blake, especially because my two doggies guys are on the bye round. I felt like I needed to bring in a gun player, because if Terrell May plays 30 minutes again and gets 37 points, I've got Liam Henry there, who's probably only going to score in the low 30s as well. So this is something I was trying to plan ahead for. I knew the Bulldogs had to buy this round. In round 3, I realised I was going to have to make plans for this. And I feel like I've brought in AFB. He's going to be in my team all year. His break-even is reasonably low, 60. And he's averaging 70. So this might be the cheapest all year we'll be able to get him. Second rows, this was another one of my trades. I've sold Jackson Ford because he was just really disappointing. I'm really starting to regret not getting Elias Gatoa. It was between him and Ford. I decided to trust my gut and go with Ford, and Eli Gatoa has scored 110. He only had 40 points one week, which wasn't too bad, and then he got 85 this week. So that's really disappointing. Ford's break-even's around 130, so he had to go. Brought in Isaiah Yeo. I know he plays Origin, but he is just the best second rower that there is at the moment. I don't want an inconsistent Hami Olakau'atu, but Isaiah Yeo, most weeks he does play 80 minutes, and he's just looks so impressive. This guy never has a bad game. A lowest score of 67, which is still pretty good. And he also has a reasonably low break-even for his price of 63, so if I'm trying to get him in my next week plans, I think it will be unlikely. Kai Pearce-Paul, he just keeps getting attacking stats now, which is great. Back-to-back weeks where he scored 80, he's got a break-even of 10. He's going to turn into a gun player. I mean, I'll be able to maybe sell him for David Fafita. That's my goal at the moment, which is pretty good. Morgan Smitties, I don't see the reason to sell him. He has a note where there's a pattern with Morgan Smitties that in games where he plays less minutes, the Raiders find themselves down more. And without Jamal Fogarty there to take leadership, I feel like they'll turn to Smitties, he'll never miss a tackle. That's one really good thing about Morgan Smitties. I think he's missed around 10 tackles all season. And his PPM was excellent, 45 points in just 47 minutes. Very good. Hopefully he goes back to playing at least 55 minutes. That's pretty good. And his break-even is still decently low at 41. Angus Crichton, hopefully the attacking stats come soon. I feel like maybe they might come against the Dragons on Anzac Day, but yet again I have a feeling that game's going to be a little low scoring. But Angus Crichton, 52 is solid, especially for his price. And hopefully this week we can see a little bit of attacking stats like we did in the past from him. Joe Chen, he's back. He's played very well. He got 42 of a line break. But still, it's 42 nonetheless. His break-even stays in the negatives. He's just going to sit there as long as he keeps his spot as that bench second rower. Well, the thing about Joe Chen, he's actually coming on and playing front row because Elias Gateau and Sean Bloor are both playing 80 minutes. So Joe Chen, he comes on and plays in the middle for about 25 minutes. He can just sit there and be a nice slow burn. Halfbacks, I was thinking about selling Sean Johnson because of that Achilles injury. But yet again, he's playing the Titans, and apparently he's had that Achilles injury for the past 3 or 4 weeks. So surely against Gold Coast, he can go well, especially because he's been going well nonetheless with the injury. Nicho Hynes, 142. This game, he didn't get any unicorn points. People keep saying, giving him crap like, oh, Nicho Hynes gets points for doing nothing. He had 31 tackles, 3 try assists. Braden Trindle's out too, which is just going to help his score even more. Trindle was kind of hurting him a little bit because it just pisses me off so much watching Sharks play. And Trindle, every time he runs or he just throws a cutout to the winger, he won't really use Hynes too much. But Hynes back now. Well, with Trindle out, Hynes should be getting all of the ball, which is really good. Dylan Brown, he just keeps being disappointing. And don't be fooled by his score. If it wasn't for a late try in the final minute of that game, he would have got like 25 points. Which, it's not bad considering they got pumped. But it's just the Eels in general. Their score really gets a little bit tougher. And I'm thinking maybe if Max Plath manages to outscore Dylan Brown, I might sell him to Plath. Because Plath can play in the 5'8" spot. And then Galvin, 35's alright with no attacking stats. I don't expect more attacking stats this week against the Broncos. So maybe he might have to be sold soon. Maybe for David Armstrong, the Knights fullback for the next few weeks. I might swap Strange up to 5'8" and then sell Galvin for him. Wingers and centers, just all of these guys have gone good every week other than this week. I mean, Val Holmes, 54 is, yet again, he scored their only try, and the Cowboys just looked really disappointing. For those who don't have Holmes, he's got a break-even of 121. I think he will drop, because his draw does toughen up. He plays Penrith, and then I think he has another tough game in round 9. I'm not sure what, or like who he's playing, but it's another tough game. Ruben Garrick, it's like, I don't understand. He just missed out on all the attacking stats. He was running a lot of decoys. His break-even's really huge, but I'm going to hold him. And I remember a similar thing happened with Ruben Garrick last year where I had him in my team. I think he got injured, had a huge break-even, and then he had a couple of bad games after he got injured, and he dropped to like below 500k. And then afterwards he ended up being really good. And I held him through all of that. I'm going to hope that that happens again this year. And another thing I like about Ruben Garrick is that he is dual position, which means if he turns into a gun, I could swap him to a gun fullback. RTS, what's his break-even? His break-even is 83. He could easily hit that against the Gold Coast Titans. He's just another one of those players who was just missing out on all the attacking stats. Of course, I wouldn't expect him to get too much attacking stats against the Dragons, especially when they got pumped. But hopefully we see some attacking stats this week against the Titans. Maybe a try assist. But I feel like they're not using him for attack. They're kind of using him to just get run meters, take plenty of runs on those backline sets. And if that's the case for another couple weeks, he might turn into a sell. Kale Iro. I don't understand how he missed out on all the attacking stats in a 42-6 game. But 53, basically all in base, is really good. He has a really good eye test. Like, he could generally be a play most weeks. The reason why I haven't been frantically trying to upgrade my centre wingers is because he's been there helping. He actually, if Holmes didn't get that late try, he would have been my best scoring centre winger, which kind of sounds crazy. And his break-even's still low. His break-even is 2. He's projected to make 50k this week, so he's just going to keep making money. Strange and Schiller, their break-evens are starting to get a little bit big. I hope that Strange maybe takes more of a leadership role with Jamal Fogarty out, but this could go both ways where Jamal Fogarty being out could hurt him, or it could kind of help him get a bit more involved. Because KO Weeks, he's not a very good player at all. So hopefully we can see a bit more out of him. Schiller, I'm not selling him. There's more problems with my team. His break-even is only 41. He only got 35, but I actually think he should have got a bit more. I mean, he made a line break, and then he was going in for plenty of runs too, like having some explosive tackle breaks. I feel like he might have got robbed out of a few points, but hopefully he can hit that break-even, just make another 10, 20k, then I cash him in. If Schiller can get the 500k, that'd be really good. And Jacob Gagai, I completely missed this. He's had that red circle around his name since Vegas. He's finally back. And if he can play another 2 weeks, then he's going to make some solid money with a -12 break-even. I wouldn't be playing him, though, against Melbourne. And then fullbacks, I heard a lot of people talking about in podcasts like Ponga to who. I wanted Chance Nickel-Klukstad. Like, with how my team is, I feel like it's a bit more balanced than other teams. So I don't have to be taking risk in it. But if I wanted to bring in AFB and Isaiah, I would have had to have sacrificed getting CNK and bringing in Walsh instead. But Walsh, he's got the West Tigers this week. His draw is okay. Like, I'd probably say his draw is like a 6 out of 10. Any game at Suncorp for Walsh, I think is a good matchup. He doesn't have the big base stats, but hopefully he can get some solid attacking stats against the West Tigers. Another important thing about Walsh, break-evens are like a lot about their like 3-round average. His 3-round average is only 49 because of that game where he got injured and only got like 2 points. So now that game's going to be out of his rolling average this week. So his break-even is probably going to be even lower than 43. Even if he scores 70, his break-even is going to be really low because that game will be out of his rolling average. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I don't think I explained it the best, but either way, his break-even Walsh, I think it will be lower than what it was, than what it is this week. To answer the question like Ponga to who, if you don't have Turbo, I reckon you got to prioritise Turbo. He's at 4 Pines Park this week against a horrible Eels side that's been leaking a lot of points. Then I reckon I'll put CNK at 2, Walsh at 3. If you're looking for a pod, I reckon James Tedesco's pretty good. He's dropped heaps, and he always tends to go good on Anzac Day. So I reckon Teddy's a good option too. That'll be it for this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Comment below what you think of my trades. I feel like they're a bit different. This is probably the most important week for trades. I just need to find balance in my side a little bit. I only had one second rower scoring really good. My 2 best front rowers are on a bye. Sean May's minutes were all over the place, so I feel like I had to upgrade in positions. My plans for next week, I want to get in another gun centre winger. Jacob Kiraz is definitely on my list. He's got big base, and the Bulldogs are starting to really come together, so hopefully he can keep coming in with attacking stats. So Jacob Kiraz is on my radar for next week. I'm either going to sell Schiller or Strange, or both, depending on how they go and what their break-even is. So that'll be it for this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.